last we left off, Lilyheart and Marcel both fell ill to some mysterious illness that you guys encountered on one of the ships that you looted. Concerningly, it seemed to be a fungal infection that seems to drive its host to act almost like a hive mind. And having passed the incubation period, both of them fell ill, and both of them have been escorted back to this island settlement. But we'll start first with our question for this week. We're going to start with Backara for this question. But the question this week is, how does your character respond to a threat? Do they fight with their fists, or do they fight with their tongue?
I suppose it depends on how imminent the threat. For Backara, if you're dealing with human beings, his first preference is certainly not to fight physically. Although, I mean, he obviously has the strength to do so. He'd rather not fight anybody who doesn't deserve a good thwacking, if you know what I mean. If he runs into a fascist on the street, sure, beat the shit out of him, no questions asked. But if it's just some shit talker or something, it's not worth his time.
When fascism is invented in this campaign.
Yeah. Whenever that happens, he's anti that, or a colonist. People who are in favor of colonial activity, colonialism activities.
That would be the precursor.
Backara.
I mean, the man led a revolution at some point. He knows what he's talking about. So yeah, that, I guess. But if somebody comes at you running with a weapon, he's just gonna fight him.
Okay.
But if someone's just insulting, I don't intend to fight them immediately. Respond in kind might be the way to put it.
Okay, I like it. What about Davarse?
I think Davarse is kind of scrappy. Kind of Weasley, kind of scrappy, so I think... But I don't think Davarse, really knows how to fight, so I think Davarse is more to use to fight his fights with his words if he can. I don't think he has any experience, he doesn't really, know how to fight, so he, just tries to avoid it unless it's, the last, resort. Yeah.
That makes sense.
If you're dealing with an animal or a creature, you can't. You're not gonna, talk it down. So.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, especially for Davarse. Why don't we hear from Lilyheart? How does Lilyheart react?
I think when Lilyheart is faced with a potentially hostile force, as everybody's seen so far, he's pretty quick to resort to physical violence. And I don't think that's because he feels like he needs to defend himself or that it's a show of strength. I feel like fighting physically is a way that he tries to convince himself that he's still worth something.
Damn. Pretty deep.
It's kind of a sad boy.
Alrighty. And we enter into this session exactly where we left off. We'll pick up with Backara, actually, as you head back with Thalaco and the Sawtooth Sons to the island settlement, with Lilyheart between one of Thalaco's arms and one of his men's arms. All of you accompany him to your root burrow. They set him down inside where Marcel already is, and you see that they're both being tended to by medicine women of the tribe, and so far it looks unsuccessful, whatever they're doing. You see their fevers appear to be getting worse, and this fungal growth is starting to spread up their limbs Both of them seem to have gotten in touch with it somewhere on their exposed arm. You gather going through the belly of that ship, you know, perhaps they slipped and grabbed a handhold, or they brushed up against something that engaged in contact with them. So the exposed parts of their flesh, i.e. their arms, were exposed. But one of the medicine women says something to her assistant. And you hear that name again, Davarse, that you heard that in the prior session. This name, Nagosi, witch. And it seems like the medicine women are going to try to transfer care of them to this witch that also lives in the village. And you soon see this figure that surfaces. She's dressed in dark garments that flow down, and her cloak itself is covered in red eyes, painted on seemingly with some sort of dye. And her face is veiled entirely, but you can somewhat hear a raspy old woman's voice that speaks to them through the veil. The medicine woman retreat. And it's just her now taking care of these two. But what would you two like to do in this moment? I mean, you've just met these people, but you've survived multiple days with them. Perhaps you care about them to a certain extent and their well-being. Do you stick around while this healing process happens? Do you try to do other things? How do you sort of react to this?
How involved does it seem the witch is, like, actively in the process here? Is she, like, just, like, hanging around, did a little bit of medicine stuff and is just, like, chilling watching? Or is she, like, actively doing stuff to their bodies?
So far, she's dismissed the other healers, so it's just her in the room. It seems like she's sprinkled something over both of their mouths, and she has a bone rattle, and she's shaking it. And she's saying something in what other language they speak. We hear like bits and pieces of it. She's like, Taevliketu ukus nagosi ekem. She just keeps rattling this bone rattle. She starts to light some incense in the room as well.
All right. It seems like she takes at any point like a break from any ceremonial processes. I would like to ask her a question, I suppose. So I guess I'll just do that. Is there a break? I guess I don't want to interrupt her. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it does appear like there's a break as she finishes her rattling and chanting, and she starts to prepare these like wrappings. Interestingly, like you'd know with modern medicine, like she touches the affected area quite a bit, which it might not register for these characters because it's in the past and like that wasn't how they thought of medicine, but like viewers nowadays would be like, that is not advisable. But she grabs both of their limbs, fearlessly starts to wrap them with this this brittle wrap that almost seems like a papyrus type texture. Just gently goes around, and then she has a moment where she's not doing anything.
Okay. Nagosi, is there anything that you require to tend to these men? Is there anything that we can go get for you, or anything such as that? Anything we can do to help for these two men?
She turns around and she almost hisses like a snake. She's like, "There's nothing you can do for me. Nothing."
Okay.
Their souls are close to crossing to the spirit world. I am drawing them back, as the tide does the waves. Tonight will be crucial. If they live, this ceremony shall take a week to conduct. If they die, then they pass on.
Well, I suppose there is very little I can do to participate in this ceremony. So, and I'll look over at fuck, what's your fucking name, Vinny?
I'm not there. I'm with the fire. I'm with the fire deity.
Oh, you're straight up not even here. All right.
Wow, what a dick.
What an
I'm
asshole.
I'm gonna become a fire shaman.
Dude, just burn the limbs off.
You're jealous.
Oh, that's so. Tyler just gave us the answer.
It's cauterizing.
It's cauterized. Okay. I shall leave you to it. The best of luck. And I'll just kind of like head back out, and they're like, are the Sawtooth boys still around?
Yeah. You see, he and his men are all gathered. They're sort of standing vigil outside the hut. You see some of them are grasping those sawtooth teeth, and they're praying to them.
Okay, men. There is nothing that we can do for these men today. The Nagosi, is that her name? Is doing all that can be done for now. So I suppose we do something to keep our minds off of it. What other work needs to be done around the town that we can assist in? Asked like the leader of the Sawtooth boys.
Yeah, Thalako comes over, and he's like, we have concluded the hunt for today. You can stay around here and help us as you like, but there should be food being prepared shortly. Why don't you go and rest somewhere? You've exerted yourself quite a bit today already, and I'm sure you're concerned.
Certainly. I think is it this guy that I'm talking to that has like the shark fin or something, or that's a different dude, right?
You know that Saith, the leader of the village, has like a crocodile arm.
That's what we're looking for.
And they just discovered that you have a patch of shark skin on your shoulder.
I'd like to go find Saith, I think, and maybe discuss the new development.
Okay. Yeah, Thalako actually comes with you. I think he can tell what you're going to do, and he wants to come with you to corroborate what's happened. And as you head off towards this massive tree that looms in the distance, we'll cut to Davarse. What does Davarse like to do? Your watch of work with Imathla the Mask Maker comes to an end. So you have the rest of the day for your leisure. He seems to think if you want to try to conduct this ritual, you'll need to fast for a day, and then go with him to the Spirit Shrine, which is to the west of where you are now. But with that in mind, what would you like to do for the remainder of the day?
So am I ready for that? If I like fast for the next day, then can I do the ritual?
Yeah. Yeah, so right now we're in the watch that's 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
What were the areas of note, like, around this encampment? Or like...
I'm glad you asked. I'll put you back on the hex map so you can see. This is what you guys have explored so far. So at the bottom, there is the tower that you guys stayed in that night. Second from the bottom is the island, the Mangal, the Mangrove Island.
Yeah.
To the northwest is the Spirit Shrine, which you actually came across when you were hunting. And to the northeast is the church. But there's still a lot that has not been explored.
So I would have to go to the Spirit Shrine the next day, right?
Yeah, it seems like
Or
he
no?
was intent on taking you there tomorrow. Unless you want to tell him that like you don't want to do it, or you could reschedule it hypothetically.
No, I
but-
want to do it. I want to
Okay.
do it.
All right.
Can I go like train with my bird somewhere? Maybe my newly acquired hawk.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I got to make some concept art for him because I think that's so cool. But yeah, do you just want to take him somewhere in the village?
Yeah, just go and I don't really know. I just figure out what I can do with him other than look cool, but maybe try to like teach him commands or something. Or just chill with him and hang out and feed him and walk around look like cool as can be. But I think that's probably like other than like the new like fire deity, I think kind of learning like his new like pet hawk. I guess maybe I'll have to think of a name at some point. But that's what's on Davarse's mind right now, really.
Nice. Yeah, we see you like throwing up bits of food and the hawk coming to grab it. At one point too, it brings back a fish. Like it skims the water,
Ooh.
grabs a fish, and brings it up to you. It's very loyal and it's well trained. You gather, it probably was like a maybe taken from one of the shipwrecks, formerly possessed by like a falconer or a hunter. It appears to take to it too well for like a wild hawk. Like you gather, it's probably been trained before. But as this goes down, you still here, Caleb?
Sorry, I was washing my hands. Forgot to mute myself.
Oh, you're all good. You arrive at Beastly Saith's longhouse. You walk in, there's like the thick smoke of like multiple fires that are burning within. From Davarse's interaction, you gather they view fire as something to ward off spirits. And they have a lot of them lit and burning on this island. You walk in, and you see Saith seated amongst a throng of his constituents. You see like warriors, but primarily you see elders from the tribe that are all seated around him, men, women. This is what Saith looks like. You guys have already seen this, but I'll refresh your memory.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's very interesting. The members of this tribe, they have pitch black eyes. It almost looks like two balls of lead that are within their eye sockets. They have a very dark complexion, and their skin appears almost bark-like. But Saith, unlike the other members of the tribe, has a head of hair that does not seem like a member of this tribe. It seems like a Bastionard type of hair. So you gather maybe his lineage is mixed. And he is seated. He calls you over. And you stand in front of him. What would you like to say?
So there's like a whole slew of people here?
Oh yeah. There's rarely a moment that Saith is alone. He's always accompanied by like a throng of elders.
Gotcha. Alright. Hello, I am sorry to interrupt. I was out on the hunt with the it's the shark tooth. It's the what is it? What are they called?
The Sawtooth Sons.
Sawtooth Sons. Thank you. With the Sawtooth Sons, when one of them noticed, I have well, just like pull back my shirt a little bit to make it a little more noticeable. I seem to have some sort of mutation, like you do.
You see a lot of the elders react with awe. they look upon you and see something beyond what you consider even yourself. They see like a figure, you as more of a figurehead than a person. But Saith is the first to speak up, and the elders fall silent. There's even a bit of perhaps tension in the room, as Saith is like, "This is a blessing. You are the second beastly who has come to this tribe in recent years. I will not attempt to understand it because such things are beyond our mind anyways. But this is a great honor." And he bows his head slightly, and the other elders bow their heads slightly to you. And he says, "You shall be offered a place of importance in the tribe immediately. You shall be given men to command, and a burrow to live in. You will enjoy privileges apart from your friends, but such is the nature of your blessing. You are to be honored and respected, especially in my longhouse. You may come to me whenever you wish for counsel, for advice, for resources. And if you wish to inquire into the nature of this blessing, I shall be here for that as well." Sawtooth Sukesi has chosen you as his avatar in this realm.
That is very gracious of you and of everyone in the tribe to honor me in such a way. However, I hope that I can bring more into the tribe than I will take out of it. It will not be my first time commanding men. I have done it in the past and will treat them well and use them appropriately. That being said, all of that being said, I am not better than anyone here in this entire tribe. We are all equals in this tribe. We have to be. It's the only way that we will be able to join together and protect ourselves. Should not put anyone else above anyone else. I appreciate a lot of the responsibilities that will come with this position. However, it is important to remember.
One of the elders speaks up and is like, "Beastly Backara is humble. Blessed be upon him." Does a little prayer. The rest of them start to do little prayers. And there's a bit of excitement in the air. And his Saith is like, "I know your friends have fallen ill, but there is a celebration in order, that we are so lucky on this day to have met you and welcomed you into our tribe. You are one of us now. You are a Haina, a flowerlander. And we shall celebrate."
It is an honor. to be a flowerlander. My friends are being treated, I believe, by the negoci. Every time I forget it. That is, as far as I know, the best treatment that is available. Are you aware of any other treatment options, or anything of that sort, or is that's the best we've got?
She is undoubtedly the best.
Happy to hear that. Just making sure.
She is connected to a very ancient spirit of these lands, called the Hungry Grandmother. She has an affinity for snakes, and she will likely shed both of their skins to rid them of the infection. But it is a lengthy process. It is not overnight.
That is fascinating. Good to hear. I am glad that is the case. Is it possible to delay the celebration until after they are perhaps dead, or maybe not?
Of course. Yes, anything you wish. It is your celebration after all.
Okay.
If it
Yes,
pains your heart to see them suffering, we shall wait until they have had Talal. Chino means rest.
Perfect. Let's, well, this will give extra time for planning for the celebration. Anyway. So let's say a week and a half. That should be good.
Very well. A week and a half from now.
Perfect. I will see what I can bring in that time for the prosperity of the village, the tribe.
Very well. Blessings be upon you. Beastly
and
Backara.
Unto you as well.
I will see you at mealtime tonight.
Perfect.
And once our mealtime has concluded, you should retreat into your burrow and not resurface for the length of the night. There has been a ship that has been paying us visits, firing upon our island at the stroke of midnight.
Well,
But best
perhaps
stay safe.
they've been doing this every night.
Your mind flashes back to the
Yeah,
ship
we've
you
seen the
saw
ship.
firing. At that point, you didn't see the island, so it seemed like it was firing indiscriminately on the land. The black ship. It belongs
Every
to the
night.
governor.
Well, if they are making a habit of doing anything, perhaps we can plan something to hinder their progress. But anything that they do consistently, we can use against them. But not tonight. We do not have enough time to properly plan.
I can tell the Sawtooth is speaking through you already. His nature is that of rebellion, but of protection of our people.
Yes, we must protect the people.
He also has a shrine to the northwest of our village, should you wish to pay him respects. But it appears he has already used you as a conduit for his strength.
Indeed. I feel stronger since I've gotten here. And
You do actually feel a little sronger. It's kind
I
of
think
surprising.
mechanically speaking, I actually am.
Yeah, you're not wrong. The HP boost.
I will go pay that a visit. That is a good idea. And one question before I depart. Obviously, I'll see you for meals later. Who gave you your gift?
Everyone goes silent, and he looks off kind of wistfully into the distance, and he's like, I received my gift when I was recovering from my injury. Not 12 miles from here. I was taken. My mother, my unborn sister, in her belly, and myself, to a monastery in the mountains. Though to what god they pray, I do not know. For they strapped my mother to a cannon. And destroyed her utterly. I was not alone in such a fate occurring to someone I loved. There are dozens in this room that have suffered the very same. But I lost my arm when I tried to reach for her in vain, struggling against my captors who had seized me. And when Ngozi tended to me in my hour of need, her eyes widened. When I had received my blessing, looks down at the crocodile limb. Such gifts do not come freely. They do not come to just anyone. So I know you must be one too, that has endured pain and hardship in their lives, just as I have. This arm is my unborn sister, and my mother, and my father who died before. And he goes silent.
You are strong for sharing what you have lost. I have lost much, but none of those names mean anything anymore. I must move forward. We all must move forward. Perhaps strike back against those who have done us wrong. But not tonight. And I'll bid them adieu.
You head out, and after recounting the story, you see Saith is getting a bit teary-eyed. And he departs the room and heads into his private chambers. You head out of the longhouse, but in this moment, we're actually going to cut to Lilyheart. You're sort of in and out of consciousness, and Ngozi, who's this like veiled woman who appears before you, her face seemingly switches between that of your mother, that of your brother. You see Benjamin Fitz's face at one point. It appears like all of these figures are tending to you, and you're sort of in a fugue state almost, barely able to discern reality from whatever dream you're having.
Also, I realize there's a kind of time-sensitive problem that has become more concerning. That Captain Karemo guy requested that we bring Vinny sees what I'm saying, an Arcanum to him within 1 week's time.
Mm-hmm.
How long has it
From
been?
when we were at the church. Or else he would hunt us down.
This is true.
And this Ngozi character said that the whole ritual would take 1 week to complete.
That's correct.
It was just one Arcanum that we had to give him?
Yeah, because we gave him 3, and then we essentially negotiated. Would be like, oh, we'll bring you another one if you take away Marcel's
So it's already off Marcel though.
Yeah, it's already off Marcel. So
Well, I could get it to him.
it's like a dangerous IOU.
I could get it to him, or Vinny could get it to him.
Yeah, just wanted to bring that up because that could be
I have time.
that could be something that perhaps you guys do. Do we have another?
I think so. Let me check my sheet.
Because it's just that Ryan did not want to give up the like the rain cloak. Like we had another one on us, but the rain cloak was too cool to give up. Yeah, Ryan is. I gotta say this. I mean, I would say it if Ryan were here as well. I said it to his face. He is the loot goblin, which is like a very surprising, which is weird
Always
thinking that
goblin
Ryan is the loot goblin, but he is.
That boy be goblin loot.
I think it's just like very contrary to how I view Ryan.
Yeah,
But he is the loot goblin.
this is true.
I'm not seeing anything of our.
But I kind of agree. The rain cloak is really cool.
It's really cool. However, I don't have anything on my sheet. Do you too?
No.
I don't. That was like the issue is that.
All right, then
That
we
was
could
all.
we could go. We could probably find one in the next.
Yeah,
'cause
maybe-
we have what,
maybe-
another 3 days.
I mean, maybe they. Maybe the people here would be sympathetic or empathetic to the cause.
I mean, I can ask Beastly.
Like the
Sage
only
and
way
kinda-
we were able to, escape like the clutches of the company were by making a deal with, this guy who's their enemy. I think they said that these guys are their enemies.
I can wield a fairly decent argument. I think
Yeah,
in the
Yeah, you now hold a lot of sway with these
Yeah.
people.
I'll try not to abuse it. However, I think it could be a good opportunity to show them that I keep my promises. So if you can't come up with if we can't find one, I can ask for one. I'm sure.
Ooh-wee-oh.
But that's a good call out. How many days do we have? 3 days?
From this point on, you have 6.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's only been like 1 day.
Yeah.
Cool.
Big day.
Very eventful.
Sorry for breaking up the narrative there, but I just wanted to point
very
that
valid.
out.
No,
because
yeah.
it's
Very
a pretty...
important. Like,
Yeah, no, it's very good to discuss as well.
it'd be pretty funny. He just like comes and kills Marcel, who's already basically dead. But
Yeah, it's certainly foreboding to have someone like that on your tail as having crossed them. They definitely seemed threatening when you encountered them previously. But yeah, in this moment, you're seeing all these different faces that appear across Negosi's face, and it finally settles upon your mother's face. And it seems like she's doing wrappings against your arm. And she's like, "Hush now. You'll be all right. Don't worry. I'm taking care of you."
This can't be real.
It's not. It's not real. But I'm here for a time, and I'll take care of you. You're dreaming, Liliard. You're not here. You're not in Bastion.
I'm sorry, Ma.
What are you sorry for? Don't apologize to me. Apologize to your brother. When you see him again. You're gonna get him out, aren't you? From Mercy.
I don't know if I'm strong enough to. I can't ever seem to do anything right. That's why I'm here in the first place.
You got friends now, don't you? Have him help you.
I hardly think they see me that way.
She continues rapping. She's like, "You're uttering nonsense, Lilyheart. Stay true to your heart, and you'll be alright. Plenty of folk who have it a lot worse than you, than us." Which is like a common thing she would say growing up in the hovel that she did. "A lot of folks have it worse than us. You count your blessings."
Count my blessings. I can try.
At this point, she starts to speak this language you've never heard. It returns to Nagosi's voice, and she's like, "Etake eliketo hechev, mahotev, chainho pachawo, wako etois." It's like this lilting, raspy voice. And we cut out of there. We'll cut back to Davarse. What would Davarse like to do for this next watch? You know that everyone in this village, they typically host a nightly feast where everyone eats communally. You can either participate in that or just do your own thing. You tell me.
It's nighttime now. It's like dinner time.
Yeah, it's now the 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. watch.
Yeah, I guess some food, a big feast. That sounds pretty good way to end the day. Maybe we'll see some of my party members, or maybe not, if they're busy doing other stuff. But Davarse will head to the feast. That sounds pretty sick.
Cool. Yeah, you head over. Maybe you still have your hawk on your arm. And
Bone. I named it Bones.
Bones. I love it. Yeah, you see, as soon as the first stars begin to dot the night sky, the world draped in this deep blue light of dusk, you see people start to adorn themselves in these robes woven from soft fabrics. They're dyed in all these very extravagant colors. You see like indigo, silver, violet, and pale green. And you see like they're adorned with like feathers and beads and shells that are like braided into their hair. And some have painted swirling patterns on their faces with white and blue clay. Seems to symbolize something in their culture. But the center of the village near this massive tree has been transformed by this event. And everyone has gathered atop reed mats, and they're starting to share food and what looks like this weird, dark, viscous substance that they hold inside these clay bowls. And they offer it to each other. Some of them ingest it. Some of them grind it into a paste and like make it into some sort of concoction. But when someone goes to offer it to you, another native like tells them not to, and they put it away. But they give you a bowl of food. You see the one that like told them off was Imathla, the mask maker.
Oh.
And he's like,
"Oh, I can't eat that. That's right. No feasting for me."
yeah, he takes the bowl of food as well. And he's like, "I shall not eat tonight either. You must keep yourself, mind and body, pure for tomorrow." You see he does partake from this dark substance, though. He takes a bit of it. Seems
What
to...
is that? What are you drinking there? What's that fluid?
This is, I don't know how to say it in your tongue. It is, the sap of this tree. And you look up, there's that, like, 90-foot tall tree that's in the center of this mangrove island. And he's like, "It is very powerful, spiritual. If you are not ready, it will take you to very distant places. It is best you not try it yet. The visions could be too powerful.
Well, how will I know when I'm ready?
Well, you will have to take it tomorrow at the Spirit Shrine. This is how you get into contact with these spirits. It is a very powerful substance that allows your mind to cross into the spirit world momentarily.
Oh, what does it taste like? Does it taste good, or can I just taste it? Can I just like dip my finger and taste it to my tongue like that?
And he's like, it tastes very bitter at first. And then it tastes very delightful. It is a staple in the foods of our culture, our people. But it can be poisonous to outsiders. You must be in the right headspace to ingest it. I could offer you a brew tomorrow you could take to try it on your own, but ingesting it directly is quite potent.
Well, we'll have to see how tomorrow goes then.
Yes, indeed.
And at that, I think Davarse is there a fire going somewhere?
There's this like massive central fire that's going on.
I think he's just gonna go and just get lost staring into the flames since he's not really partaking in the feasting. I think he's gotta prepare himself. I think maybe he's trying to focus on his future fire abilities. Like he's like maybe like waving his hands like over the top of the fire, not really doing
that's
anything,
cool.
but like
I like that.
kind of like looking like he's like imagining like controlling it like, after like seeing the guy like flicking like the flames. So probably just hanging by the fire and just mentally just like preparing for the whatever's gonna happen in the spirit shrine tomorrow. I bet he like stays out like late, like just like out by the fire.
Yeah, we see time just like quickly passing around you, but Davarse stays slow. This fire smells interesting. It seems like they must have put some sort of like fragrance inside of it. It smells like cedar and sage. It's this very nice aura. And the scent carries throughout the entire village. You see people sitting in like different circles. They let this, whatever this substance is, take them. See, some of them are sort of like slumped back a little bit. Some of them are like rocking in place. Some of them appear to be completely lucid and like unaffected by it. Perhaps it requires some level of tolerance to have that. But after they've enjoyed their company for a little bit, you see a group of young men and women appear. They don masks that seem to have been carved by a Mathla, the mask maker who seems to be like your guide in all this, along with like glowing beads and feathers, and they start to participate in this slow dance around this central fire. You watch their figures that move around slowly, their movements flowing almost like the branches of a tree, just very gently swaying together. And they move in these like loops and spirals and winding paths around each other. And it starts to build up movement. It starts to go faster. And as the night deepens, this like beat of drums that were previously unseen takes over. And it grows more complex. And the dancers move faster. and their shadows begin to blend and twist in the firelight in these strange ways. And at the end of it, onlookers are encouraged to join in. You see this young, maybe like early 20s girl comes up to you with a mask on, and she's like trying to grab your arm to join in.
Alright, I guess I'll take her hand. Do they all have masks on?
They do. You see there are these like masks arrayed on a rug nearby that you could potentially grab.
Oh, I'm gonna snag one of those, yeah.
Okay. You see they depict like perhaps different gods in their culture. You see there's like one that looks to be a woman's face that's like partially merged with a seashell. You see there's another one that appears to be a panther's face, and a third one that appears to be the face of the fire holder. It's a red mask with two faces side by side. There's a happy face and a frowning face.
Oh, I gotta pick up that one. That one sounds sick.
You take it, and it's almost this like psychedelic scene as like you begin to dance with her, but it's like so fast that you start to lose some of your perception and your senses. You see the shadows flickering almost unnaturally. Yeah, and everyone's dancing together. At one point you get like a different dance partner, and then you're thrown to somebody else, and it's just this like quickly moving thing. And in one moment you get sort of turned by your partner, and you're facing the fire directly. And in this split second, it looks like the fire has a human face that's staring back at you, with tongues of flame leaping out from its eyes. And then another partner grabs you, and you keep moving around. And at the end of all this, people begin to disperse. All of the young people, all the children go to bed, and it's just the elders that are sitting on this large reed mat in the distance. And they appear to be like talking to each other in their language and like sharing stories maybe. But the night seems to be winding down. At this point, I don't know if you're still here, Caleb, but you see Backara standing off in the distance. He's sort of been solitary, doing his own thing. But you see him on his own mat. You both regard each other from a distance. What would you both like to do? It's now about 10 p.m.
Well, this far, yeah, I probably haven't been too participatory in anything. Just kind of old, tired, and pondering the great responsibility and power that was just dropped on my head. So yeah, I've just been chilling. I guess I would try to get your attention to just like, you don't know that stuff yet, so like I probably want to tell you.
Do I know that he had the shark arm?
No.
We discovered it when I was hunting.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't know any of it then. Nothing.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you,
Sick. That he's diseased.
I mean, you wanna get over here and I'll explain it to you.
I guess I'll approach Backara, since I haven't seen him in some time, and I'm just kind of mulling about the town at night.
Okay. You approach, and now you two are together on the fringes of this fire.
What did you get up to today, Davarse?
Well, I've been studying the art of fire. I'm gonna
Very
learn to
interesting.
control the fire. I'm gonna control it.
Controlling the flames, that is extremely
And also,
valuable.
have you met Bones? This is Bones, my hawk, who will be accompanying us further on. And spent all day training him.
He looks to the hawk, and he's just gonna stare at it for just like right in the eyes. And does it move at all?
Yeah,
it
yeah,
moves.
I think it moves.
All right. Well, that is good for you. If it didn't move, it was going to be a different response. Well, that is, I'm sure, having. Yeah, the fire is definitely way more important than the bird. Yeah, I'm much interested in you learning all these. Controlling the fires within would be quite the power to wield. I also have some news for the day. And I like pull back my shirt a little bit to like reveal that I got some like fucking silver shark skin ass
Yeah.
shoulder looking thing. I do not know if you recognize this, as you may never.
You
have
caught
actually
something
seen it.
from. You caught that disease
No, not
from
quite.
Marshall.
Not quite. You remember Beastly State's arm?
That's right.
This is another similar such affliction or gift, if you are so inclined. I've been granted some privileges.
How long have you had this arm like that?
Well, I did not know that I had this until today, this afternoon. The Sawtooth Sons noticed the patch while we were out hunting. But I brought it to Beastly Saith's attention, and he has provided us, or myself, I suppose, more privileges than previously.
Oh, like women?
He gives you this look like, bro, what the fuck? No, he has given me men to lead.
Men? Oh.
Perfect.
Men to lead, and a place to stay, and a higher apportionment of responsibility. I would love.
You're like some sort of prophet to these people.
That does seem to be sort of the scenario, at least a little bit. At the very least, an equivalent to Beastly Saith's position from that, but not like he's like the mayor or something. So like, I'm not that, but I am a general of sorts. Let's put it that way. I think would be appropriate. I would be happy to take you into the crew, if you will, to get you access to some of the expanded resources that I will have. And a fire controller would be quite a addition to any sort of thinking of us as perhaps the Spec Ops force.
When we got to this island, I was a little scared, but it just keeps getting better and better. I think this community here isn't bad. I think we're getting through a lot here in this community.
I
What is
could
this
not
town
agree more.
called? This village, or what is it called?
Yeah. So you guys know now, after a day, these people are called the Haina people. I'll put that in the chat. That's their native name. This isle is called the Isle of Sega. You know, Sega is Saith's mother's name. So this island was named after her and her martyrdom amongst these people. You also know in the native tongue, Haina means flower land. All these people call themselves flowerlanders. So these are all bits and pieces you guys have picked up throughout the day, but it helps when referring to them, you know, and their land and their island.
I couldn't agree more. I am already willing to dedicate my efforts to the Haina people and the being a member of the Flowerlanders. I imagine you could earn your spot. I got it automatically, but I assume you could earn your spot through service. Hopefully the other two survive, and we can perhaps
I
serve
could
this
earn
community.
my spot. Can I check out your scales, Backara? Would that be okay? I just want to.
It's not
See
really
this-
scales so much as it is shark skin, which is actually like it's what, like, disease proof or something weird. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it's-
want to it's like on your upper arm, right? Like right here. I just kind of want to like see what it like feels like.
it feels smooth and leathery, like you were touching a
Oh.
shark. And it doesn't make sense. Like, you go from skin to that, and it just feels very unnatural in a way.
After that, he's just gonna like do a quick like little peek just to like make sure.
No, you're fine. No changes on Davarse's body.
Sorry, I tasted some psychedelic tree sap. Just I thought maybe that was. I just tasted this, you know, a little bit, but no, this is real.
have I been brought up to speed on the tree sap?
Yeah, you can tell me. Have you taken
I
from
think
the
I
sap?
probably filled them in.
As a full, or at least more of a member of the tribe than Davarse, you are offered this hallucinogenic substance called sap. Would you like to take it?
No, I think I'm all set.
Okay.
Not Backara's thing.
Yeah, but you separately, you and Davarse made the same decision. So you got to witness a lot of these these dances and these, like, taking part in the feast as like a communal activity, but when someone offered that to you, you declined. But you do know about it.
Cool. No, I am all set, thank you. But it is very interesting. I do wonder what properties it may possess beyond what they use it for. Now, I was thinking, there apparently have been near nightly attacks from a ship offshore. Do you have any ideas as to how we may be able to set a trap for them?
Well, there are 4 or so of us. Could always stake them out, rig up some sort of noise maker, lines, or ropes or something.
They are shooting cannons from offshore. But it is just worth thinking about. We do not have to do
From
something about-
offshore?
Yes, from the distance that they like as far away as they can from the shore as possible. I think, like that the cannons will reach.
That's right.
It's like
Huh.
not super close.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. You know, you'd either have to have cannons on the island to fire back, or you'd have to make it out to their ship somehow and intercept them.
Or put something in the water.
Yeah, of course. Or you could like, you know, bait them into a hazard or something. But it is a tricky situation because the cannons can fire from quite far.
Yeah.
Well, the way I see it is, this could be a great opportunity, let's say. I think we're all running a little low on some of those nice items, and we might be able to find some on this boat. Who knows what they might have lurking there? If we want to stay here, it might be a good idea for one of us to take one over to Captain Karemo.
Yes, I can ask tomorrow, perhaps.
I'm going through my fire exam tomorrow.
Someone's ringing my bell.
Your fire training.
My fire training, my fire quest.
You're in the volunteer fire department.
You kind of are, in a way.
What if? What if we? Well, wait. What if tonight we went? What if or any night? What do you think about lighting their ship ablaze?
That was the first thing that came to my mind when you brought up your fire control. So if it takes you time to learn how to do that properly, take your time. We can stay protected indoors, and for the most part, we should all be okay.
I think it will take some time. I'll have to go through the training, the test.
That
But I
is
had a quick
understandable.
idea we could just try out tonight, really. 2 minutes, really quick, just to see if it checks out, if anything happens. I was thinking, alright. I got my hawk bones. I got this lantern full of oil. I would like to... How flammable is this oil? If I dropped it from a height, could it combust and start a fire on a ship, Tyler? Theoretically? Or does that sound like impossible?
Just from being dropped?
Well, like the oil leaks
Yeah,
out.
I mean,
don't know.
you do have 4 hours worth, so it's like a ball essentially of oil. It definitely would be hard to set an entire ship ablaze with that, but it's not impossible. I mean, crazier things have been done in history. You know, it doesn't take much fire to light this like tinderbox of an old style ship aflame, especially if you hit one of the masts. You could very quickly set the canvas on fire and just cause a massive ship fire. At the very least, if you were successful, it would cause them to probably retreat to deal with the fire.
And at the worst, it might still scare them a little bit. They might be a little on guard.
That's also true.
Yeah, I'm not opposed by any means. I was just saying, is it gonna combust from hitting something that has flame, or from just it burst?
I think it's lit already.
Molotov oil.
It's like a lit oil lantern that he would be like dropping full of oil. in the hopes
Okay.
that it would ignite. But I think he also
I mean, I'm not opposed at all. Why
I
not?
don't
Fuck
know
'em up.
if this will do anything. It could do something. Could do a lot or could do nothing. But until I learn more tricks of the fire trade, this is all I have for tonight. I think we should go and just do a quick. We'll just watch. I guess really that's all there really is to do. See what happens.
You have had this bed for 1 day, and it is already trained enough to carry an oil lamp. What could be 500 meters into the sea and drop it on the ship?
This will be lesson number 12 for us. We did some training earlier, so.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I trust you. Sure.
Ready, Bones?
Good shot.
I think so. I think using the cover of Darkness at Night, I just wanna, I don't know, I just wanna attempt it and just see what happens. I think it's like pretty like a lock could go one way or the other. I think you just kind of, I mean, if the hawk can eat, I mean, it just goes right at the ocean or just, you know, I think there's a lot of variability to it, but I'm intrigued to see what could happen.
Yeah, so I'll say you use the remainder of this watch to craft what is essentially a bomb from the rest of your oil. So you have that ready. It's in sort of like a metallic sort of casing. It wouldn't be able to be a lantern because that's just like, it could leak out, it could do all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So you sort of jerry-rig something, maybe with a bit of gunpowder too from Marcel's pack. The real question is, I'm going to have you roll for this Hawk's strength score to see if it can carry it. So you're going to roll a d8 for its strength.
All right.
A 5. All right, so now you're going to roll a d20, and it's going to have to get under a 5 to successfully carry this thing you've created.
All right.
Damn.
Let's
It's
give
just
it
a hawk,
try.
so it's not super strong.
But it's possible.
It is possible. Let's go.
Let's go. Dreams can come true. Bones.
This hawk grabs onto it and manages to lift it up into the
Yes.
air. It's like flapping,
That's all I wanted.
and it just settles onto your arm. This is sick. And like clockwork, once around midnight comes, you see off the coast, this dark shape appears. I'm going to put you guys onto a new concept art here.
Oh, no way.
You see this dark ship appears. And from this distance, you're actually a bit closer. It doesn't seem like a sloop that you thought it was previously, but it is that size of a sloop. It appears to be a caravel. It's like an old-fashioned style ship, perhaps 100 years outdated by this point. But it's outfitted with a bunch of cannons. It looks like 6 on each side. And it looks like it's opening its gun ports, like it's getting ready to fire. And you see like lights on the ship. You see maybe in the far distance what looks like maybe people flickering to and fro in front of the lights. Would you like to try this with your hawk? It's gonna have to roll. Let's see here. I think this will be an action that would require dexterity. Because you're not, you've seen that it has the strength to carry it. It's going to have to now successfully drop it on the ship,
Right.
which is a matter of dexterity, I think, as opposed to strength. So you're going to roll for its dexterity score now. I'll have you roll a d12. Because hawks are pretty dexterous.
Oof.
That's tough. So
That's tough.
it's gonna have to roll a 3 or below to succeed. So why don't you roll a d20?
No.
No. So sadly, you get this bomb set up. You get your hawk to grab it successfully. And you send it off. But you see about halfway between you and the ship, the hawk drops it. It descends into the ocean, and you see there's this small little explosion. And you see once that happens, the gun ports start firing upon the island. It's just multiple shots over the course of like 30 minutes.
You're gonna have to teach that hawk a lesson.
The hawk is heading back at this point. But unfortunately, since you guys are within eyesight of this ship, I'm going to have you both roll a D100.
You can see the hawk get obliterated by cannon fire.
Hedwig, no!
What are you rolling?
A D100. If either of you gets above a 90, you're hit by a cannonball. Okay. So you're not.
What would happen when you get hit by a cannonball? How much damage does
You
a
don't want to
cannonball
find out. You don't want to
We've
find
done
out.
damage
Shark
with a
arm. You
cannonball
lose your shark
before.
arm and you lose all your benefits in the town.
I would hope it would take it out like right where it becomes normal arm again. Because it's only like the top part, so then maybe it'll grow back to a full shark arm.
So interestingly enough, so with the 73, this cannonball whizzes over your head. You hear just like multiple shots ringing out.
Yeah, let's get inside.
Let's get out of here. No good, no good. We gotta get out of here.
What was I thinking?
Yeah, and you hear just cannonballs firing at this. But the people have dug themselves in so deeply to the mangroves that the cannonballs can't even reach them. But it is damaging the island. Just multiple rows of cannons firing. And it lasts for 30 minutes to an hour. Just a constant barrage of cannon fire. And then, like you guys saw previously, the ship sails back around the island's coast to the east and heads north.
They have to be restocking somewhere. Somewhere to the north. Then I'll retreat to a burrow.
All right, you guys retreat.
Davarse is proud of Bones. That he just sees, he's like, you know what? Next time, then we're gonna get there. That was close. Like he's advancing quickly.
He is. Like, that is incredibly impressive for a hawk to grab a lantern and bring it out to sea. Like, he's very well trained, and maybe
Even though he didn't hit the mark, Davarse sees the potential in him. So he was happy with how that night went, and they learned, they got some intel.
yeah, he seems to be strong, but not that dexterous as a hawk. So, like, he doesn't have much. Perhaps he's really eager to show himself, like, his capabilities as, like, a creature, but, like, he's too sloppy with his master's commands. Like, he'll drop stuff too early. He won't land exactly on your arm. Yeah, but he's very strong.
Once I get the fire, he'll be able to, like, it'll be like another, like, visual cue to help, like, these commands set in. So it's not just auditory. He'll have, like, he'll be able to have multiple senses keying in on the commands. We're gonna train him up good.
Perfect.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys at least have somewhat of a better sense of this ship. You picked out its ship type and that it's manned by people. Also, its number of cannons. So it has 6 on each side, it seems. But as these silent hours turn into the cacophonous dawn, as you hear like birds chirping and people going about their business, we'll say it's the 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. watch. What would you both like to do?
like we're just getting up in the night from sleeping,
Yep.
or
You know that Imathla will probably be expecting you at the spirit shrine.
yeah.
So maybe that's the first thing you do.
Sorry, Annie called.
Very good.
What's up?
What would you guys like to do first thing the next day?
I'm gonna go to that the shrine.
Oh, cool.
To Teeth's.
All right. So yeah, we'll say you
Wait,
guys.
is that a different shrine?
No,
or
it's the same one. Yeah.
Oh, that's where I'm heading to.
Serendipitous.
Cool. So I'll put you guys both back on the hex map as you guys make your way over there. This is essentially this hex right here. This one with the statues. It takes you a whole hex, or a whole watch to get there. It takes 4 hours of travel to get there. But you're on foot, so it makes sense. As you head up, it seems like thick fog shrouds this forest of rotted cypress trees. An eerie stillness reigns in the air. And standing amidst the trees, you see Imathla the Maskmaker. He comes up to you, and he's like, I will take you now to the Fireholder's totem. And I will give you some sap to ingest, and the ritual shall begin. The Fireholder will ask you something of your contract. You may refuse. You are in no way pressed into this contract. And it may be something substantial that you must give up. It may be something simple and even trivial. But we will not know until you have begun your journey. And he turns towards you, Backara. And he's like, beastly Backara. Have you come to make congress with Sawtooth Sukasi?
I have, yes.
Very well. I intended to use this to guide Davarse on his journey, but you may take it, as you are favored by the Sawtooth yourself. You can both guide each other on this journey.
Me and Davarse? And what is he handing me?
The sap you saw people ingest.
Gosh. Well, neither of us have really partaken in this sap experience before. Is there anything that you would advise prior to?
Try to center your mind. Clear it of any thoughts of ill content you might have. And focus on the good. Then you may shift your mind to focus on the element of your patron's affinity. For the Fireholder, focus on fire, Davarse. Its destruction, its purity. And for Sawtooth, focus on the water. The beasts of the sea. Sharp edges. Shark's teeth. He looks at the necklace you have on it and he's like, that will be perfect. A conduit.
I grasp onto it like I'm about to go on a trip and I need like a fucking centering object.
Yep. And he's like, at that point, they will make contact to you. It will feel like a dream. But like a dream, it can turn into a nightmare if you are not careful.
All right. We will take this together. And I'll give it to you to drink first, and I'll finish whatever you don't finish.
Takes it delicately and like carefully like takes a swig of it, chokes it down.
Okay. So I'll go a little metagamey here because there are going to be some options that are opened up to you guys. Obviously, both of you have the Fireholder and Sawtooth Sukasi are greater spirits. I'm pulling up your willpower scores right now.
Let's go.
Okay, so from Backara's willpower score, you're able to have a greater spirit and a lesser spirit you can try to get a ghost contract with. With Davarse, you can have a ghost contract with a greater spirit and 2 lesser spirits.
Bro, what's your willpower?
14.
14.
Holy crap.
It's basically like once you hit 12, you get an additional spirit, and every one above that gives you an additional. So if your willpower is 16, you can have 4 additional spirits, which is nuts. You both find your respective greater spirit statues, so we'll deal with that first. We'll start with the Fireholder. You arrive at this totem of this like red-hued elder with 2 faces, one beneficent, one malignant. He seems to be holding a torch in his right hand as flames lick up his dress. And for each of these, I'm going to give you guys like a very short lore blurb. There's not going to be any mechanical indication of what these ghost contracts mean, but you can derive a lot from the lore of each of these gods as to what their powers might be. The Fireholder has the power of fire. If he becomes angry, he makes and causes fires on the earth. He sends spirits to all the hearths. He is both purity and destruction. Simultaneously, Backara goes to Sawtooth Sukasi's statue. And here's his little lore blurb. Sawtooth was planning to conquer the island through the river when the Mother of the Depths challenged him in the form of a sea beast. After a great battle, the sea beast won by pulling out his teeth with her 8 arms, which enabled her to hold off the massive attack of the god, forcing Sawtooth to promise to never attack the island again. That is how he became a protector spirit of the Haina. So as both of you take this sap and this like hallucinogenic state starts, we'll start with Backara. You start to see ripples around you like you are beneath the ocean, these like dark, shadowy shapes like fish swirling around you.
Take some deep breaths.
Yeah, takes some centering to survive this for sure. And you see this massive, shadowy silhouette approaching you from what used to be the tree line and now looks like a shoal of some beach. So this is going to be a big roll. I'm going to have you roll a d12 to determine the contract's price. What this spirit is going to require from you.
Low is good or bad?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's just random. A 3 is really interesting, though. So I'm going to roll. As this luminous shark approaches you, it requires that you sacrifice 73 shillings to the tribe to seal its contract.
Yeah, like right now? Or just like I have to go back and give him to the tribe?
If you have it now, you can lay it before his totem and seal the contract.
Yeah, I have 200 shillings right now, so I will,
Nice.
I will go ahead and do that. You said 73?
73 shillings.
All right, yeah, I will carefully count those out. And place 73 shillings or 73 shillings on the statue. Or I guess if I can perceive the physical form of the statue, or maybe I have to do it afterwards.
Yeah, you place them down, and they almost look like they're floating down to ocean depths. And you hear this like deep, bassy voice that echoes through this underwater space as he's like, "My power is yours." As you gain the Sawtooth's power, which is called Teeth of the Sea. So I'm gonna copy this over to your character sheet. This is gonna be a new power you can control.
Dope.
The way powers work, it's so simple. I love it. Basically, you can use it. You get one free use automatically a day, so it functions similarly to like spells most of the time. But when you use it, you roll a willpower save. If you succeed, you have another use of it. If you fail, it's exhausted.
Gotcha.
So if you keep rolling success on your willpower checks, you could use the same spell multiple times a day. And some of these are pretty wild. So it'll be very useful. All right, let's see here. Copy it onto your sheets. All right, copied it on. It should be in there.
Sick. Oh, so that's how that's spelled.
Yeah. And we cut to Davarse. You see just around you, like you start to grow hot and uncomfortable and sweaty. It feels as though there are fires constantly around you, and these colors around you are shifting into what looks like licking flames as this psychedelic trip begins to take effect. I'll have you roll a d12 to determine the fire holder's price. Okay. This is nuts. Okay.
Oh no.
Free.
You hear this like voice that comes through. And it's like, "Fire does not come free. Fire must consume." And it puts this vision in your mind that in order to secure its contract, you must kill Imathla and burn his body.
Oh no.
Essentially, he has a contract with the fireholder. You must destroy his last contract to get a new contract.
I have to kill him and burn him. Oh my god. But I'm convinced.
Let the
I'm
fire
convinced of
take
this.
him and destroy him, so I might give you my power. It's like this mad voice that you're hearing in your mind.
Oh no.
But you're in this psychedelic state, and you see Imathla praying over one of the totems in the distance. What do you do?
I think I have to kill him now. Not right now. I mean, was it like you have to do it right now, or just like
Right now.
I have to do it right now? Oh my god. Are there? I mean, who else is around?
It's just you three.
Oh.
It could not be a more perfect situation for this to
Who's
happen.
wait? Who's the third person?
Imathla. It's you two and Imathla.
Who's? Oh, me, Backara.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, man. I mean, I think he's got to do it. He's gonna. I guess I gotta go strike him.
Okay.
I mean, he's under the effects of a very powerful hallucinogenic in this ritual. He's probably scared, and I mean, also, he's Davarse. I think he'll do anything to get ahead. So I think I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go and attack him with my mace, I guess.
Okay.
Oh my god.
All right. You see Amatha turns to you,
Oh.
and before he can react, you just bring down your mace upon him. I'm gonna have you roll your mace's damage. If it's not enough to take him down, he's gonna try to attack you back.
It's a D6.
Yeah, so roll a d6. Oh my god!
It's mine! The fire's for me! It's for me!
You see he turns and you just hit him on the back of the head with cold iron. He's gonna have to make a d20 check against 8 to survive, or he dies instantly from this hit.
Worst part is you're still gonna burn him.
No. You hit him so hard across the back of the head that he slumps down. There's blood trickling from his neck onto the totem. Backara, you turn and see this happen as he just wallops Amatha from behind. And you just remember Thalako's words in your head, like, if the deer enters this shrine, don't kill it. As Davarse has just murdered your guide in front of you.
I didn't even notice. I wasn't paying attention.
It's possible, yeah. If you want to rule it that way, I would say that's perfectly possible that you didn't even notice.
Totally out of my
Yeah.
scale. I think they were on the other side, probably, of the shrine, so I didn't even notice. I'm gonna be curious as to where he went later, but at the moment I don't know what happened.
But yeah, his body is just slumped over in front of you. You killed him in one hit to the back of the head. But you see his torch that he was holding by his side still alit.
But there's no, like, bonfire raging, but he's just got the torch.
It's going to be a slow, gruesome burn if you want to do this, as the spirit says.
So we were just doing this ritual outside in, like, the courtyard, or, like...
In a secluded
We're like
area of the
4
forest.
hours away, yeah, from...
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll, like, just kind of, like, hold up his arms with, like, the torch and let it, like... Can I let it burn like that? I mean... Or do I have to, like, build a fire?
Yeah, it's this, like, gruesome scene as you just slowly burn his body and scorch it to black. This figure who had seemed somewhat friendly to you the day prior and initiated you into this ritual. But now his spirit ordered you to kill him.
All of, I think, Davarse, maybe not his undergarments, but all of his other clothes he rips off and burns as well. Just, like, symbolically.
Yeah, this huge roaring bonfire now.
And I think, yeah.
And you see in this roaring fire, you see what looks like a perfect reflection of your body staring back at you, with tongues of flame licking out from its eyes like you saw in the fire the night before. As the fire is now yours to command. I will give you the fire holder's power.
That's crazy. What were the other numbers besides 8?
Alright, so I put it on your sheet.
Oh, sick.
There are a lot.
5 shillings.
I won't. Some of them are varying in severity. But that was definitely one of the crazier
That
ones.
was an interesting... Yeah. Fuck.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, but you guys think about if you want to try to entreaty some lesser spirits to work for you as well, or if you'd like to just, like, call it here. Keep those greater spirits for now and just leave.
I think we're already here. We might as well. It was a 4-hour walk, you know.
Already crossed the Tiber or whatever. Already the die has been cast.
All right, so you guys would like to continue on to these lesser spirits, all right? Okay. Backara is so out of it that you don't even know Amathla has been killed, or that this fire has even occurred. And you see, instead of totems, each of these totems appear to be like these spectral spirits now that you can entreaty. I'm going to describe them real quick so you can make your choice. There are 8 lesser spirits. The first one appears to be a smiling hero with 2 hummingbirds perched upon his outstretched hand. The lore for this one is, when humanity's hubris released the old serpent upon the world, young Tustanugi, the divine warrior, undertook a quest to bind the dark goddess. Next, you come to the statue of Wind Over Water. You see this sage-like being with kingfisher's feet, and it seems like he has a long covering of blue feathers in place of hair. His wings are beyond counting. He moves like a storm cloud of azure feathers. He raises fair winds with his fan of blue feathers and sea oat, whipping up foul winds with his fan of green feathers and palmetto frond. Next, you come to the statue of the Lady of Joys Forgotten. It's a long-haired woman, a ceremonial dancer of tender beauty, in a billowing dress. And this, the bit of lore for her is, the lady's touch is delicate yet agonizing, for she does not inflict wounds upon the flesh, but upon the soul. Her power lies in stirring the dormant memories of pleasures lost, regrets buried, and loves that were once cherished but are now faded to shadow. You see a statue of 7 crows that are depicted together in a mass. The 7 rainbow crows, the most beautiful of all feathered birds, offered to make an arduous journey. They would carry the gift of fire to humanity upon their beaks, but in return their feathers would be scorched black from the flames.
Fucking fire.
You see a statue of a wolf, a black she-wolf. A child was carried to the lair of the she-wolf in expectation that the savage beast would kill it, but she accepted it amongst her own cubs. Next, you see the statue of the Weary Mason. It appears to be a naked dwarf with a headband of ostrich feathers. He clasps a hammer and chisel in his hands. The Weary Mason is said to be a tireless worker who toils through day and night, carving mountains into pathways, sculpting rocks into shelter, and etching meaning into the stones beneath the feet of humankind. Second to last here, we have the Comforter in Twilight, a frail woman draped in swirling robes. Her serene face looks down gently, and her flowing hair merges with firefly designs. And you see small holes have been bored throughout the statue where candles have been placed. The Comforter is said to dwell within the glowing bodies of the fireflies that dance across the swamps as the sun sets and night falls. Her presence is felt when the day gives way to night and when the world seems to hold its breath between waking and dreams. Lastly, you see the Bone Dancer. There's this statue that's made not of wood but of bone. It's somewhere between a human and an animal in form, and it's frozen mid-dance, limbs extending and bending at odd angles as if caught in the throes of some ecstatic movement. The description is, they dance tirelessly between life and death, sometimes sprouting leaves and flowers, other times decaying into bare bone. Wherever they step, strange fungi and mushrooms grow from the soil, pulsing and glowing in the moonlight. So those are the 8 lesser spirits. If any of those piqued your interest, I can reread the description, but let me know.
I mean, I only have one. Vinny, you have 2. I don't know if you have any severe preferences.
There was one that really stood out to me. The 7 crows one.
The 7 clever crows.
So fucking cool, dude.
Just like, I mean, one, the crows and the hawk, and then like the reference to fire just sounded like a cool like tie into Davarse.
Cool. So you have 7 clever crows. You guys can also pick the same ones too if you want.
Oh, okay.
No, all right. I was gonna go for the many. I think it was maybe the third one, like the many feathers, wind
over water.
Wind over
water. Yeah. I think it would go well with my other traits.
Okay, so you're gonna entreaty wind over water. Davarse, you're gonna entreaty the 7 clever crows. And what's the second spirit you'd like to ask?
Can you read the Divine Warrior one again? The first one?
The Divine Warrior. When humanity's hubris released the old serpent upon the world, young Tustanugi, the Divine Warrior, undertook a great quest to bind the dark goddess.
I'll do that one. That one sounds enticing and mysterious.
Okay. So this time we'll start first with wind over water for Backara. Why don't you roll a d12 to determine the contract's price? 10. Okay. Let's check something real quick. You see, you come to this almost like this demi-plane of just pure like blue light and feathers. And you hear this very soft, pleasing voice, this like effeminate yet male voice that's speaking to you. And it demands you sacrifice your best weapon to it to seal the contract.
Yeah, bro, here's the blunderbuss.
You put the blunderbuss forward, and this gale ushers forth that is so fine that it slices the blunderbuss in half from its force and its ferocity, and it falls apart in 2 pieces. So you've now gained the power of wind over water, which is a power called fair wind.
Sick. Is there any way to expand the Arcana followers and notes things beyond being like 2 lines tall?
I don't know. I'll look
I
into
suppose
that,
if you widen the thing, you can see obviously more of it. But...
Yeah, so I just put in fair wind for you.
Nice.
Cool. And we'll go next to the 7 clever crows. You gather around this statue of like multiple crows arranged each other. Each of them has 4 legs instead of the 2 that crows usually have, which is odd. But you entreaty them and ask for their price. Why don't you roll a d12?
Let's see.
A 7. Okay. Okay. The crows asks for something drastic in return. They gather you already have a lot of power and malice from the fire holder. So they ask that you too sacrifice something like they once sacrificed their vibrant feathers to humanity. They ask you to sacrifice 1 HP to seal the bargain.
Oh, these motherfuckers. I thought they were going to ask for like a locket of my hair. Yeah, I mean,
I thought they were gonna make you kill your bird.
Can you imagine?
I'll like So I permanently lose a hit point. Then is what that means?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll sacrifice it.
Okay.
Yeah, what happens if we say no?
Then it's just like not gone through with.
Ah, okay. I thought they might, be mad.
No, the only time they get mad is if you break a contract, which you can do to gain other spirits instead of them. But there are potentially bad results.
Like once
from
you're
doing
bound, can you release them, or you're contracted then unless you break it?
You're contracted unless you break it with them, which it has its own repercussions. For lesser spirits, they're much lesser. They're close to none. For greater spirits, it can be quite devastating because they have large egos. They don't like being replaced by other greater spirits. So I'll put in.
Can you have multiple greater spirits, or is it
No, only
mutually
one.
exclusive? Gotcha.
They're each very covetous over their followers. But you can break a contract to try to gain another greater spirit that you like better.
I doubt I will be finding a spirit that I like better.
But yeah, I just put it in your abilities, Davarse.
Oh, that's nice. That's sick.
That ability is one of the most powerful of the
huge.
lesser spirits.
That's honestly huge.
And we'll go last to. Oh, let me re-up the music here. You said the last one you wanted was which one?
The Divine Warrior.
Divine Warrior. Okay, why don't you roll a d12 for that?
Oh.
7.
Double 7.
Another HP.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, so the Divine Warrior is
Can
also
I-
going to ask for that.
Can I deny that one and then just do it with another one then before it?
Yeah, you can
Fine,
you
I
can
guess
deny you
I'm-
can deny the contract.
I'm gonna deny the Divine Warrior. Fuck that. I'll do I'll do the Dwarven
The Weary Mason.
one. The Weary Mason, yeah.
Surprised you didn't go with that one off the bat.
Okay. You can roll a d12 to determine the price.
No 7. Yes.
6. Okay.
No more
73.
HP for you.
Knuckles.
Okay, this one's also interesting.
Oh.
It grants this, and mind you, you can say no if this is like asking too much.
Okay.
The dwarf gives you a vision of this decrepit old Haina woman who's like on her deathbed. She's being tended to by medicine woman. And the price for this contract is you must bring this old woman who has a contract with the Weary Mason. She was once a builder for the village. You have to bring her to hallowed ground to die.
Where is she?
She's in the village. And the Weary Mason wants you to bring her to this wellspring that's in the mountains.
Oh, they're good boy.
Okay, I'm just gonna do the wolf one.
Okay.
I'm not.
A 9.
My players are starting to arrive, so I'm probably gonna piece every at the end.
Yeah, you're good. You're good to peace. Thanks for coming.
All right, that was fucking awesome, just for what it's worth. But all right,
Hell
enjoy
yeah.
the rest.
Thank you, my guy.
Have fun, dude.
Yeah, see ya. Okay. So a 9.
Just don't be something crazy.
Well, this one's also kind of crazy. This black she-wolf appears before you. And all you see is this vision. Do you remember that monstrosity you guys let loose from the bowels of the ship? The, like, multi-limbed...
Yeah, it was like slowly chasing us. Yeah.
It shows you a vision of it, and it's crawling towards this wellspring in the mountains. And it wants you to kill it to gain its favor.
Okay. I'm not. I'm gonna do. You said that we can both double up. I'm just gonna do a D12, and whatever the price is for the wind over water, I think I'm just gonna do that one too. I don't like these.
All right, yeah, roll d12.
I like that one too, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna spread the wealth.
Okay, a 2.
But I guess if I'm shopping around,
Oh man, I love this one. Okay. What would you say is your main weapon?
right now my star metal mace for sure. That's pretty much all I have other than my hawk.
So wind over water is quite attracted to you because fire and wind go very well together. Wind over water, all he asks of you is he wants to be bound to your main weapon.
Okay.
So when you use
What
this
if the main
power,
weapon? Can I, when it changes, can I like or what, I would have to go through the ritual again?
it'd have to be this weapon permanently.
Fuck it. All right.
So essentially, when you use his power, you'll have to use your weapon to cast it.
That's fine.
Okay.
The star metal mace of wind too. Then.
Okay. I will copy this over to your sheet.
Let's go.
You gain the power
Future
called Fairwind.
Let's go.
And as you both come out of this trip that you've both entered into with this hallucinogenic sap, Backara looks towards you, and you look as well. Because in the time that's been lost, you've forgotten that you've murdered Amathla and burned his body. And even though it is just ash, his like wooden masks are scattered about, half burned, and there's just this charred pit. And that's where we're gonna leave off for this session.